A lot of these horses, I don't know them. They arrived yesterday. I have no idea who they are. I know where they come from. I don't know them. So, introduction to the horse. That's the name of the session. And stall training plus lunge. That's what we're going to do on that first session. We might do more and start on session 2 if there is enough time. Because some of them will go really fast, and some of them, after 30 minutes, will still trying to pick their feet. Okay? It depends what they've done before. Just a few warnings before the start session 1. You need to know if they have their teeth done. In an ideal world, you want their teeth done. You're going to put the bit in their mouth at some point. It is not fair. So you need to know. You need to keep in mind that every time you're going to do something in an environment, you need to show them the environment. Okay? So right now they're in their stalls. Okay? If at some point I go in the round pen, I'm going to show them the round pen. You can't assume that if the horse knows how to lunge in the round pen, he's going to be fine lunging in the small ring, or he's going to be fine lunging in the big ring. On the first time, you have to show them their place. So show environment. Going back to the space between the expectation and what we're actually going to do, you need some leeway. You're going to adapt, okay? So sometimes it takes longer and sometimes very fast. From here, we're going to do in the stall standing, not moving. We're going to put the halter. When they've been handled before, it's easy, but as soon as the environment, the friends are here, you can't catch them in the stalls anymore. So you need to come in, and then a horse needs to stop, and you need to be able to put the halter. I'm going to tell him to where I want him to be, and wait for him to stop. And then there is 2 ways to put the halter: over the ears or around his neck. Okay? So if you think about it, we're not going to do the ears. Okay? Because we don't know. Maybe I can't touch the ears. So you always, on the baby's going to put the halter around the neck.
Very important that when he went in, he asked the horse to step back a little bit.
You'll always put yourself between the door and the horse. Okay? This is dangerous here. Okay? Him being between. And so I always want to have my safety here. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to see what he wants to do. Can I touch his ears? Okay. He seems cool. So you put the halter, you're going to start patting him on his head. You got to be able to touch their head, and then their ears, and then their eyes, and then without them. Because you're going to put the halter, the bridle, so if you can't touch them, it's hard. We're going to teach them to do a basic flexion with the halter. I'm saying basic flexion because ideally they understand the flexion. Without the bridle, some horses it's a little bit harder, but you understand why the flexion is important. The feet. Okay. I'm going to say pick up and farrier tap. That's for our dear friend that is trying to put shoes. They need to be comfortable. So that's for my friend the farrier. Up. Flexion. Grab their tail. You want to know what they're going to do if you touch their butt. Are they going to kick you? Are they going to... So you kind of want to check that.
You can also gauge how worried the horse is. If the tail is very stiff, okay, this horse is a little tense and nervous. If you can no problem take the tail and onto their butt, you're like, oh, this horse is super relaxed and ready to move on.
Introduction to the whip, very important. No fear, they need to be comfortable with the whip. This is not a tool to beat them. It's a tool that's going to be very important to teach them. So they need to be comfortable. So no fear. And then we're going to touch them with it. And they're not supposed to move when you touch them, when you pet them with the whip.
There's one thing I want to say with the whip is that it's not like desensitizing them to the crop. It's not like play with them in the crop until they like don't care about it. They need to be like comfortable with it, but interested in it. If they're just completely desensitized to it, then it can't be effective. It's not necessarily desensitization. It's really explaining the tool to them.
Yeah, because it's going to be used to actually make noise. And then we're going to teach them movement in the stall, the concept of the traction. So you'll see that's going to be something important. The traction, voice, whip, in order. Contact, traction, voice, tap. Concept. All right, so that will be very important down the road. Okay, so I'm going to put him in a safe place, sometime in the corner. And my first step is that I'm going to try to do a square in the stall. Okay, so doing 4 straight lines, and I'm going to ask him to follow my hand. Traction, so contact. Second step. Voice, third step, tap. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. And some horses will have a reaction. So, allez, voilà, oui. Okay, so I'm going to try to go back to my square. Walk on. Oui, voilà. Oh. Okay. Walk on. Voilà. Oh. Walk on. So I don't even have to tap him anymore. So follow my hand. Up. Walk on. Oh. Walk on. Oh. So that's pretty good, huh? For a baby. Next step, it's going to be, because we're going to free lunge him. So I got the traction, voice, tap established. Now I want to see if I can push him from behind. So I'm going to open my left hand, so traction. So just that everybody understand. At first I was in front of it, I was tapping on the shoulder. I'm going to still do the traction, but I'm going to open my hand and say, walk on, allez. So the tap will be behind him. Allez. Voilà. Allez. Voilà. Oh. This is where we're going to establish some basic voice codes. And I'll repeat again, but the voice, it's going to be very loud. You'll see it's going to be wee, like, yeah, like it's, you have to talk to them. You can't be shy with them because they don't know anything. So basic voice codes. So when you start in the stall, you're going to start talking to them and they're going to understand the voice. Voilà, oui, voilà, voilà, Carlton. Good boy, good boy. So sometimes it look weird, but it's important. So that's the stall movement. So when we can move in the stall, number 3 after, we're gonna use that and go in the round pen. We're gonna, sometimes they don't wanna go in the round pen, so up, learning opportunity. Traction, because they'll know all this already. So that sometimes is your first reaction. You're like, great. That's important. When they have a reaction, it's like, hey, I can teach them. It's not like, oh, yeah.
When you're gathering information about the horse that you're with.
It's like, cool, I have a reaction. So in the round pen, push out the whip. So they're going to be free in the round pen, huh? The first time. So you let them free and push off the whip. That they start understanding body language and change directions. And more response to the voice. And that's also, to go back to what we talked before, that's where you learn more about your horse personality. You watch him, you see what he does, You learn about him, tell me about you, because that will determine what you're gonna do. And then lunge with the halter. Do you lunge the halter in the round pen? Sometimes, not all the time, but if we have enough time, you can lunge in the small one. But you show them the small one. If they like feel good, why not? Huh? All right. That's it. That's what we're gonna do, huh? For today.
We used the term session and not like first session, not first day, because sometimes the first session can take 2 days.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you can knock out the first 2 sessions in one day. It's happened to me before where I spent like 2 days trying to pick up their hind feet. It's also happened to me before where I'm like trotting around under saddle on the first day. So it's like you follow the steps, but it's not exactly. Basically, you start a session with a horse, you have 45 minutes to an hour maximum to accomplish what you accomplish. Usually session 1 happens.
Yeah.